All right, so this is really for you guys and for everybody. Pearl Guide, price quote. Just any questions you've ever had for any of us, and hopefully we will and can answer. So
Can I
please
start?
go for it.
I just want to say, first of all, that you are such a group of generous people with your time, your information, your fabulous photographs, your resources. And it's made a huge difference to me. And I can tell you that a lot of people here, like I'll correspond with somebody and they'll be saying, Sarah, yes, I got these photographs from Sarah. And I just mentioned that I needed something. And the next thing I knew, I had a mailbox full of them. And I have to tell you that there are a lot of people who don't share, who want to keep their secrets. And I think that the Pearl world is a much better place because of you guys, and this is really neat that you're giving us a chance to ask you questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. So don't be shy.
Well, why did you start out with, like you guys, how you got into pearls?
Yeah.
Just a very brief bio.
I was adopted into pearls. So I met a family when I was a teenager, 16, 17. I was stringing beads at the time. They said, oh, great, you can string pearls. So I quickly learned to string pearls. This was, as an adopted member, I'm the third generation in this pearling family that started in the early 50s in Japan and has office in Japan, Hong Kong, and now in the States as well. So I've been working with pearls since I was 17 and learned a lot. Traveled the world working with pearls, thank God. And have learned even more since I met all of these guys, honestly, and learned to share. The internet in general is a fantastic way to teach people to share. Before the internet and internet business, people were very proprietary about their information, and it was really uncouth to ask. And with the advent of the internet business and Josh constantly prodding me, I've learned a lot more about a new way of business, and that is based on sharing. So thanks, Jeremy, for making Pearl Guide.
Pleasure. For me, I got into it a little bit later. I was 22, so maybe around the same time. As many of you know, I was a flight attendant for Northwest Airlines, and I had laid over in China, started buying pearls there, and trying to sell them in the States, but the industry was really closed off when I got into it, and nobody knew anything about pearls. I would visit jewelry stores, and they'd tell me, that's not a cultured pearl, that's a freshwater pearl, or, that's, So a friend of mine called me up after I'd been reaching dead ends for a little while and said, hey, I found this place where I think you can sell pearls. I've been selling little odds and ends on it. And he says, it's on the internet. It's called eBay. And so I tried to get on eBay. Couldn't really figure it out because I didn't really know how to work a computer back then. So I went on Amazon and started selling on Amazon in 1997. And then Pearl Guide was built in 2004, I believe. 2003?
Yeah, I joined in 2004.
Okay, so we've been around just over 10 years, and I think that's really, everything really started to change because I had no background in pearls whatsoever. And then when we started Pearl Guide, well then suddenly I had to answer questions all day, every day, being the only real member of Pearl Guide for the first year. So they say the best way to learn is to teach, and that's where it came from. And so since then, I feel like information is a lot more readily available. I hear a lot from people outside the online community that customers are usually more educated than the sellers are, especially in jewelry stores, because you go online, you do your research, and jewelers only know what they've been taught, that they've been taught, that they've been taught. They don't even necessarily take a pearls course when they get their certification for their GG, or I think there's one chapter in colored gemstones on pearls, and that's it. So the kind of false information is rampant out there, and we've been able to kind of fix it and offer a different alternative.
Grain of sand.
Grain of sand.
Oh, and the whole grain of sand thing, we can thank John Steinbeck for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Bastard.
He started it, you mean?
Well, if you read The Pearl,
Yeah, I have.
That's what
That's
they.
what he says.
That's where that
That
huge
was
pearl
right, yeah.
comes from. From grain of sand.
And it's unfortunate that even there's members of the Culture Pearl Association that refuse to remove the information from their literature because some of the old pearlers, unfortunately, are second, third generation and really never gotten a real pearl education. They've never read a real pearl book. They just know what they've been told, and they've been told it's a grain of sand, so it doesn't matter what anybody else tells them,
Right.
it's a grain of
I
sand.
was actually told at Mickey Moto's at South Coast Plaza.
Yeah, Mickey Moto's stuff says that as well.
Wow.
Expensive, yeah.
Unfortunately, even our friend Galatea's promotional materials say that.
And he
she-
knows better.
He knows better. And I asked him about that, and he said, I know, I'm sorry. It's just so romantic, and I'm an artist. That's what he said. So he's taking artistic license, even though he knows it's not true.
Well, you know, Douglas has a film that he did an experiment with 2 oysters in a 10-gallon tank, and he filled them full of sand, just like he talked about to us. He actually has a video of it. I used to have it under my signature, but then after I made I took it off. But you should put it under yours because it's really great. You know, I used to have the pearls come from a grain of sand, and you click on it, and you get Douglas's video of him filling these oysters with sand, and then they just, they just pour it out with this mucus. He held it up, and this mucus would just come out with all this sand in it.
Maybe he used too much.
Of course I use too much. A million grains is
Open
way too
the
much.
oyster up and poke 1 grain of sand.
But you can do it with just 1 grain of sand, it won't work. I've tried many things, rocks, bits of coral, I mean everything.
Well, it's
And you know what? That's in all the books. They say it could be a grain of sand, a piece of coral.
Exactly.
Right.
They all say that.
Well, even the Culture
It'll-
Pearl Association says it's like an irritant. And,
You know what?
But,
Bo finally removed grain of sand from the new CPA website. Finally,
well, good.
Thank you.
about 2-3 weeks ago, around the time when I mentioned.
Well,
to
you know, I
right?
sent something out to him, and I think he never reads that email because I never even got any acknowledgement. But he must have read it, huh?
I would-
Because he
I would assume
changed
so.
it
I would
himself.
assume so.
Okay.
But one thing that nobody addressed is how these worms actually get inside the shells. And what they do is they bore through the shell and they pop out, and the mantle forms a cup, and then the cup closes and it entombs it within its own flesh, it suffocates it. So anyway, FYI. Yeah, it is really cool.
So then when a mave, is that what you pronounce it? Pearl, then the one where the cup hasn't quite closed yet, so it's still attached to the shell?
Right. The cup formed, but it didn't pinch off the intruder, so it closed it against its own shell instead of within its own flesh.
And that's actually called a blister pearl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a mave until you cut it out and put it back on. Until then, it's just a blister.
Culture Tahitian maves?
How do you culture them?
Does anybody culture
Yeah,
Tahitian
yeah.
maves?
It's a lot of work, and they're paid less than pearls are, and pearls are already not paid a whole lot, so
Yeah.
you do the math really quick.
Economics.
Yeah.
Do you find natural pearls
Yeah,
in the harvest?
yeah, sometimes. Extremely rare. I'd say 1 in 10,000 oysters, but I see them sometimes when I'm grafting. I'll see a little bump in the mantle. I'll be like, ah. But they're never really worth. You just kind of leave them.
We find them just like Josh does, and we separate them. So we put them aside, and then 3 years later we harvest those oysters. You don't even have to kill them. Just open them up again, and you can just retrieve the pearl. So
But
we
the-
get natural pearls, but the last 4 years we've had 7, 8 pearls. That's it.
Yeah.
Do you have a waiting list for them?
We have 10 buyers for natural pearls, and we have less pearls than natural buyers. So what we do is we're going to harvest them. If you come here, you might get a pearl. So sometimes they visit. If all of them visit at the same time, I'm going to make a joke, but I really like it. What we do is we place them in a room, we throw a dagger. whatever person comes out gets a pearl.
In general.
Yeah. Just close.
Jeremy Norris can speak to
No
that.
screams.
Sarah, when did you develop your eye for baroque and unique pearls? You're like one of the first people out there that really fronted them as, you know, wonderful objects, and they're on everyone else is into round and shiny. And
Yeah.
then you see, I'm not wearing my Sarah pearl today. Yours are always so unusual.
Thank you. I think really from the beginning, Pacific Pearls was known for selling Akoya. So they sold white round pearls, and if you were lucky, there was a stone bead and a little gold bead next to it, mixed into the necklace. So they sold a lot to Germans in Hong Kong and Americans in Japan. And so the pearl of the day was Akoya for many, many decades. And then Chinese pearls happened, and stick pearls, you know, that lie flat next to each other was a big deal. That was really interesting. And so as pearl shapes changed, I found it more fun and more challenging design-wise to make those an interesting piece. So it's kind of just what I gravitate towards. I think there's a lot of people more interested in round pearls because it's more classic, but there's also a lot more people that can fill that void.
Yeah.
So I prefer to make the unusual, and find the people that are attracted to it, because I find that they are often somebody that's easier to talk to. Take it away, Ruckus.
Do you have any memories of like the first baroque pearl you saw that you just went, ooh, and then, you know, and then you were into that kind of pearls?
You know, when I read the handout, what was your first pearl purchase?
Uh-huh.
I'm still trying to figure that
Trying to
out.
remember.
I don't remember it at all. I don't. I love Japan Akoya Keshi. That was the first thing to me that I was like, these are amazing. The really, really teeny ones.
Yeah.
That to me was impressive. And that was actually the first pearl necklace that I had, was a torsade of those. And that was given to me by Fuji, and I still have it to this day. It's one of the few things that's actually technically mine.
That isn't for sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we ask a question about the blue pills now? Or-
Sure.
See? Go ahead.
So is there like one company that produced the pills, and what's the composition of this material that makes it expand?
All I know the company, and you know the rest of it.
It's a kind of gel that reacts with water and it expands.
Oh,
And the
like
company
diaper-
invented it is
diaper
called
filler?
Imai Seikaku, and
Sorry?
they make nuclei.
Like diaper fillers.
Yeah, like
Expand
diapers.
with
Exactly.
it.
Right.
Like the little dinosaurs.
What are these references always? The last one was not diapers, but like silicone implants.
But not silicone implants, because those aren't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know,
Not
but
yet.
you're right. But that was the
yet.
reference on the video on Pearl Guide.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
those little silica gel packets that say "do not eat" that are in stuff, it's basically related. It's built out of that, not just that.
Or with the plants. Have you ever seen those little pills that you add water? They absorb it. Then you get your plant in,
Mm-hmm.
so you can leave the house and the
Yeah.
plant will
It'll
get the
retain
water.
the moisture.
Exactly,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
It's actually the same thing.
Only they have a special coating on
They make amazing pearls.
Yeah.
Just can't keep.
They make your style pearls.
Yeah.
And
Like-
how are they to drill?
Well, I've only drilled the ones that have the baroque beads inside them. I drilled one. Because in the big lot that I brought back, there was one pearl that still had the like gel material inside of it. Just one. And
It's not stinky though.
no, it wasn't sticky at all.
It's not a big infection like the.
No. It's just it's
Not technical.
people assume it is, but it's just like souffle pearls. Souffle pearls are not gas bombs. They don't smell bad. It's the same thing. I mean, some people disagree, but if you've ever drilled a gas bomb pearl, souffle pearls smell like roses. Sorry.
And do the after they remove the blue pill and nucleate with a baroque piece of shell, do you find also gas bubbles as you would with keshi, or is it
Well,
solid?
you don't
liquid?
remove anything.
You remove the whole pearl with the blue pearl inside it. It'll be really thin, and you're supposed to throw it away, but I bet they'll show up.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
No, any of the ones
Just
we've
thin,
drilled,
resin
no,
or
No gas
something.
bubbles.
Even if
nothing. They're
thin.
very solid. Very solid.
But they're light.
I don't think they're light. Do you think they're light? Light?
Light and fluffy.
You made me get them out.
All right.
Yeah.
He's got something he's been hiding from us. Do you have the strand from
Do you
yesterday?
have any without?
So is that a piece of?
These have implant.
Strand of
These
the
aren't gonna
baroques.
Provoke.
They're the implant
I like that name, provoke.
Yeah, that's
Well, you know, they
great.
look like Keishi.
Uh-huh.
They weren't accidental. It's not even really my name. Doug Fisk said that's what they look like to him.
I like it.
And in honor of Doug Fisk, the writer of the Pearls course for GIA, I said, okay, it's your name.
What, revoke?
He came up with provoke, or I can't even say it.
That
Say it
came
10
from
times fast.
That's great. I
Came
love
from Doug,
that.
yeah.
I tell everybody they're provoke baroque.
Do you know he's also the one who came up with the name Silk for the soy milk?
Really?
He's
No,
done a lot of stuff in his life, yeah.
Wow.
He's quite the guy.
So
Silk
what's the
for
shape
what?
of the baroque
for soy milk.
seed that you planted after you pull out
really?
that first
It's a
harvest?
freeform baroque.
So they're all different shapes?
They're all different
They're
shapes,
like
so-
tumbled shells, you know, so they're all different.
And you know
shapes.
something I found really interesting is that when we brought this lot in, a lot of them really, really looked like keishis, like big keishis, and we couldn't understand how the bead could be inside there. How would they make a bead of this shape? And we started cutting them, and we found out that the lot was filled with actual keishi pearls because they look so similar that we got
Oh,
a
you made out.
we got I wouldn't say made out. We got maybe 35 or 40 really nice keishi pearls out of them that were just mixed in with.
But
the-
you only
the
found
other
out
ones.
when you cut them in half?
No, you can also find out when you drill them. I mean, it's a lot more difficult,
Yeah.
but we cut a couple of them in half that we thought there's no way this could be, and sure enough, you saw a picture of one of them on Pearl Guide. There was no way there was a baroque bead inside of that pearl, and sure enough, it was a keishi. What do you got?
Yeah, this one's amazing.
Oh, the provokes.
That is a cool pearl, Josh.
The gum wrapper.
It's a gum wrapper.
So these pearls were sitting around on the kitchen, on the dining room table, and there was a bit of a tin foil that was there as well. And yeah, I thought it was one of them.
First thing to go are the eyes.
Yeah.
Do you guys want that? Thank you.
So
So
these
those
have a
bunch-
gel material inside.
Yeah.
So these actually don't. These have the gel material still inside of them.
Still.
You
So yeah,
legally
these
export
are.
it.
Yeah, you carry these out in your pocket,
I
right?
did.
These would be fantastic if these could be drilled and emptied out. I mean, just
Because
Take a
there's
look
a
at this.
first blush of growth.
look at that.
So are
Oh,
these,
it's tin foil.
are they illegal or something?
Well,
She's
French
saying
Polynesia won't let them out of the
Probably pretty thin
country.
because all they really want to do.
And
is
I hear
get
they're
all across
now not letting any without a
So
bead
cool.
out unless they're actual little keshi.
I just
Well,
bought.
how long-
I heard you said that.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, they don't let pearls out that don't have real nucleus in them.
Otherwise, teachers would be growing souffles. But how long did you leave out in the water?
A year.
A full year. So you've got a decent coat.